Hi friends, welcome to another video. Welcome to your journey to being another super assistant out there in the world. Hope you enjoy our content. Don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So let's get right into it. Today we are looking at sterilization. We are particularly looking at wrapping of cassettes, which are going to be used during procedures and for hygiene. So we're going to look at the three common sizes: the large, the medium, and the small. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to show you the different sizes of wrapping paper for sterilization. There's a small size that's usually used for the basics. There's the medium size, which is used for the slightly bigger size cassettes. And then, of course, we have the larger size, which is for the much bigger cassettes. And of course, you pick the size based on the size of a cassette that you are planning on wrapping. Okay, and now for the wrapping. First things first, we have our cassette, then we have the tape, which we will use to seal the wrapping around the cassette. We also have a class 5 strip, which goes inside the cassette, and this is just to ensure that we are actually getting a positive sterilization. And then we also have this machine, which hopefully you've seen before, and it's to label your sterilization cycle. It's usually set up in that way where there's a date and there's a cycle number, and we'll get into all those things, but for now that's all you need to know. So let's get to wrapping. Okay, so now at this point we have clean instruments which have been washed and properly cleaned. We ensure that before we wrap, we make sure everything is clean and well organized in the cassette. And it's at this point we put the class 5 inside the cassette to ensure that, you know, the right amount of steam and all that good stuff is going in there and actually sterilizing the items. Then it's at this point that we close it properly and make sure it's nicely sealed before we even start wrapping. So these steps are very important because you don't want a cassette being opened and these instruments that are dirty and all that stuff. So those steps are very, very important. So we're gonna start the process of wrapping for this large cassette. As you can see, we have vertically placed it in the middle of the wrapping paper. Here we are demonstrating it again, just to be very clear and very precise. We put it in the middle vertically and make sure that it's nice and tight in the wrapping paper. And using our pre-cut tape, we seal it very, very thoroughly because we don't want to leave any loose ends open. I will let you do more watching than my speaking because it will be a lot easier for you to follow along. So for the edges, we fold them very neatly. Try to be as neat as possible despite having to do things fast in busy offices especially. So we're going to do this again just for demonstration purposes. The edges need to be very nice and neat. Fold them like that. Then with pre-cut tape again, seal that end, and we will do the same thing on the other end. So now that we're nice and neatly wrapped, it's time to label it with the date, the sterilization number, and also make sure that your initials are on there. All those details are very important. And yeah, this is ready to go in the sterilization as it is, and hope that was very clear in the explanation. You can always rewatch in case you missed out on something. Now at this point we're getting ready to wrap the medium-sized cassettes, and this is the format that we use. You set up your paper in a diamond form and place your cassette in the middle. As usual, check if the instruments are clean and nicely placed in the cassette. Put your class 5 on the inside, and it's at this point that you properly seal and close the cassette. And yeah, center it and get it ready to be wrapped. So as we begin wrapping this one in the diamond format, as seen here, as demonstrated, the most important part is the corners. Those are usually folded down as demonstrated here. We're going to do it again just so you can see exactly how it's done. Make sure it's laying flat and neat. And always make sure you have your tape pre-cut, because it's easier to just grab a piece and wrap it. So you just push aside, lay that flat, and neatly flatten it at the top, and then seal it with your tape. This is something that you only get better at the more you do. So we're now doing the top. You can fold both sides with your index fingers. Use your thumb to push it in and flatten it. Again, index fingers, use your thumb to push them in and flatten the top. Make sure it's tightly sealed, because we don't want any part of the cassette peeping, and then seal it properly. This is how you do this one, and look at how neat and clean it is. Looks really nice for the patient use after it's sterilized. And it's at this point we do the same routine. Make sure you check that you are labeling it right with the right number. Stamp it and sign off your initials, and yeah, we are good to go. This is also ready for sterilization. Okay, so for the last and final cassette, the smallest cassette, we are going to show you how to do this. We're going to use the same format of the diamond shape wrapping. We turn this into that shape and place the cassette right in the middle of the sterilization paper. As usual, check if everything is clean and well organized in the cassette, and place the class 5 right in the cassette, seal it properly, and then we get to wrapping. So fold it down the middle of the cassette, and then we focus on the sides of this cassette. We're going to do the same exact thing as we did in the previous slides. Push that in, fold it, and make it flat at the top, just like that. And it's at this point that we use our tape to hold that down and make sure it's nice and flush. Same thing, you push it in, flatten it at the top, and make sure it's nice, tight, and flush. And you can secure this again using the tape that we have pre-cut. Okay, so for the top, same thing as the other size, the medium-sized cassette. Use your index finger to push in on both ends, and your thumb to flatten it. This will usually go round twice around the cassette, just based on the size, and then we seal it with tape. Yep, and look how neat and nice that it looks. At this point, we're obviously going to do the same thing. Make sure we label it very well. Check if the number is right, all the details, put the stamp over there, and sign with your initials. And this is also ready to be sterilized and to be used. And yeah, I hope these steps have been very helpful to you and you have learned something. As you can see, we have our fully wrapped cassettes, 3 different sizes, the large, the medium, and the small. I hope this video was helpful to you. Let us know if there's anything you'd like to know about wrapping. of cassettes, and any tips and tricks that you think could help you even better, we can give more, but these are the basic steps that you'll probably need on a daily basis. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.